I spent the early mornings before sunrise and the late evenings after dusk, poring over every book, article, and video I could find about fruit farming. Every chance I had, I'd find a quiet corner in the library or a spot in the park, taking notes and dreaming of what could be. But despite the knowledge accumulating in my head, I knew it wasn't enough. Knowledge alone couldn't till the land or plant the seeds. I needed a plan, a way to translate my dreams into concrete actions. My days at the factory became a blur, each shift blending into the next. The monotony of the work was comforting in its own way, a predictable routine that allowed my mind to wander. I used these moments to think about how I could make my dream of becoming a fruit farmer a reality. One day, during a particularly grueling shift, I overheard a conversation between two colleagues about a local agricultural fair happening in a nearby town. They spoke of it as a place where local farmers gathered, showcasing their produce and sharing their knowledge. The idea of attending such an event sparked a glimmer of hope in me. This could be my chance to learn directly from people who had the experience and insight I needed. I spent the following weekend preparing for the fair. I was nervous but excited, my mind racing with questions and possibilities. I saved up enough money to buy a ticket and made the journey to the fair. The event was held in a sprawling field, with tents and booths set up by farmers from all over the region. The air was filled with the earthy aroma of fresh produce, the sound of conversations, and the sight of vibrant fruits and vegetables. As I walked through the fair, I felt a sense of awe and wonder. Each booth was a small glimpse into the world I yearned to be part of. I approached several farmers, introducing myself and explaining my dream of becoming a fruit farmer. I asked them about their experiences, their challenges, and their advice for someone starting from scratch. One farmer, a grizzled man with a weathered face and a friendly smile, took a particular interest in my story. His name was Mr. O'Reilly, and he had been farming for over 40 years. He listened patiently as I spoke, nodding thoughtfully. After I finished, he said, "You've got the heart for it, lad. That's the most important thing. But remember, it takes more than just heart. It takes grit, patience, and a willingness to learn from every mistake." He handed me his card and told me he offered mentorship for aspiring farmers. I felt a rush of excitement. This was exactly the kind of guidance I needed. We arranged to meet in person, and I left the fair with a renewed sense of purpose. Over the next few months, I traveled to Mr. O'Reilly's farm every weekend. The farm was an idyllic place, with neatly arranged rows of fruit trees, well-maintained fields, and a charming farmhouse. Mr. O'Reilly taught me the fundamentals of fruit farming, how to prepare soil, plant seeds, and care for the trees as they grew. He also shared his knowledge about pest control, irrigation, and harvesting techniques. Working on his farm was hard, physical labor, but it was fulfilling. The sense of accomplishment I felt after a long day of work, watching the fields slowly transform under my hands, was incomparable. Each lesson learned was a step closer to achieving my dream. Despite the progress I was making, I knew that the biggest challenge was still ahead of me. I needed to find a way to start my own farm. The piece of land I had my eye on was still out of reach financially, and I needed to come up with a solid plan to make it happen. One evening, as I was sitting at home, contemplating my next steps, I had an idea. I could start small with a community garden. It wouldn't be the same as owning a farm, but it would give me practical experience and help me build connections with others who shared my passion. It would also provide a way to save money and prepare for the day when I could finally purchase my own land. I began researching community gardens in the city. I discovered that several local organizations were working to establish and maintain urban gardens, but none of them were in a position to take on new projects. I reached out to these organizations, pitching my idea of starting a new community garden dedicated to fruit cultivation. I explained my vision, the potential benefits for the community, and the experience I had gained working with Mr. O'Reilly. After several meetings and presentations, I finally received the green light from one of the organizations. They were willing to support my project and provide resources for setting up the garden. It was a significant breakthrough, but there was still a lot of work to be done. I had to secure a location, gather volunteers, and plan out the layout of the garden. With the organization's support, I found a vacant lot that could be transformed into a garden. I enlisted the help of friends, family, and community members, rallying them around the project. Together, we cleared the lot, prepared the soil, and planted the first fruits: apples, pears, and cherries. It was hard work, but seeing the garden take shape was incredibly rewarding. The community garden became a hub of activity. People from all walks of life came together to help with the planting and maintenance. We hosted workshops and events, teaching others about fruit cultivation and the benefits of growing your own produce. The garden not only provided fresh fruit to the neighborhood, but also created a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose. As the garden flourished, so did my confidence and experience. I continued to save money, diligently working at the factory and investing in the community project. Every step forward brought me closer to my ultimate goal. I continued to learn, refine my skills, and build a network of people who supported my dream. One day, as I walked through the garden, admiring the rows of fruit trees and the thriving community around me, I realized how far I had come. The garden was more than just a project. It was a testament to what can be achieved with dedication, perseverance, and a bit of creativity. It was a stepping stone toward my dream of owning my own farm. With the experience and resources I had gained, I began to seriously look at purchasing the land I had always dreamed of. The money I had saved, combined with the success of the community garden, gave me the confidence to take the next big step. I found a small piece of land that was not only affordable, but also had the potential to become the farm I had always envisioned. The process of buying the land was filled with challenges, but I approached each obstacle with the same determination that had driven me throughout my journey. The day I finally signed the papers and became the owner of the land, I felt a profound sense of accomplishment. It was a dream realized, the culmination of years of hard work and unwavering belief. Over the next few months, I began transforming the land into a functioning farm. I used the knowledge I had gained from Mr. O'Reilly and the community garden to create a plan for planting and cultivating a variety of fruits. The work was demanding, but every day brought me closer to the farm I had always dreamed of. The farm became a place of joy and fulfillment. I took pride in every fruit that grew, every tree that flourished, and every moment spent working the land. It was a far cry from the factory job I had once felt trapped in, and it was everything I had ever wanted. Looking back, I realized that the journey to becoming a fruit farmer had been filled with challenges and setbacks, but it had also been incredibly rewarding. It taught me the value of perseverance, the importance of believing in my dreams, and the power of taking action to make those dreams a reality. As I walked through my orchard, surrounded by the lush greenery and the sweet scent of ripe fruit, I knew that I had found my place. The dream that had once seemed so distant and unattainable was now my everyday reality. And it was just the beginning of the next chapter in my life.